This is part 2 of my series on how Gundams may be possible in the future. In this part, I'll be addressing the solutions to the problem of energy that I mentioned in part 1. Like I said in part 1, a Gundam is going to need a lot of energy, mainly to just move. This is not including the weapons. Because it's so heavy, a lot of force is going to be required, and furthermore, it's going to have to move at a considerable pace. Having a slow Gundam will be useless, obviously, and it won't be effective on a battlefield. So my first solution to this problem is antimatter. For those who don't know what antimatter is, it's basically the same thing as normal matter, except the subatomic particles that make up matter have opposite charges. So you all know what normal matter is composed of, which is a proton, positive charge, neutron, neutral charge, and electron, negative charge. However, the subatomic particles and antimatter have opposite charges. An antimatter particle has an antiproton, negative charge, an anti-electron, or also known as a positron, positive charge, and an anti-neutron. What makes antimatter a powerful energy source are its collisions with normal matter and the energy released from those collisions. When antimatter collides with normal matter, the energy released is 10 orders of magnitude greater than chemical energy, and 4 orders of magnitude greater than nuclear energy. The energy release is so great that if antimatter becomes a usable fuel source, then interstellar or interplanetary travel will be possible. Because of this tremendous release of energy, antimatter is an ideal source for a Gundam. Antimatter is created at places like the Large Hadron Collider, Fermilab, and the European Organization for Research. All these facilities have large particle accelerators that collide particles at extremely high speeds. Through high-speed collisions, antimatter is created. Another way it's created is by having, let's say, a sample of gold, and then a laser is shot through a sample, and simultaneously more than 100 billion particles of antimatter appear. Antimatter isn't extremely hard to create. However, the problem with antimatter is it's produced in extremely tiny quantities that don't make a feasible amount to be used as fuel. So a method used to create more useful amounts of antimatter to be used as fuel have not been found. However, if it is in the future, then it would be used as a good energy source for a Gundam. The next solution is a fusion reactor. A fusion source would provide almost limitless energy and would relinquish our dependence on fossil fuels. A good example of a fusion source is the Sun, which is basically a gigantic fusion reactor. The fusion reactor is created on Earth. Countries and nations can be powered by just one. So first, what is fusion? In nuclear physics and nuclear chemistry, fusion is a process by which multiple like-charged atomic nuclei join together to form a heavy nucleus. It is accompanied by release or absorption of energy, which allows matter to enter a plasma state. So basically, the concept behind fusion is to bring two more atoms close enough together so that the residual strong force, or this strong nuclear force in the nuclei, will pull them together into one large atom. If two light nuclei fuse, they will generally form a single nucleus with a slightly smaller mass than the sum of the original masses. The difference in the mass is released as energy according to Albert Einstein's mass-energy equivalence, or also known as E equals mc squared. Like I said, this reaction allows matter to enter a plasma state. So what is a plasma? What is plasma? Plasma is the fourth state of matter, and it's basically ionized gas, or rather partially ionized gas, in which a certain proportion of electrons are free rather than being bound to the nucleus of the atom. The ability of the positive and nuclear charges to move somewhat independently makes the plasma electrically conductive so that it responds strongly to electromagnetic fields. Today we are currently researching on how to create a stable fusion reactor. As a matter of fact, we have gotten a fusion reactor to work. However, it's only for a few seconds, and after that the fusion chamber cools down, and we lose more energy since we put more than the amount of energy we gained. However, it's only at the experimental stage, and once we're able to get a stable reaction going, energy won't be a problem. The largest current experiment for a fusion reactor is the Joint European Torus, or GET. In 1997, GET produced a peak of 16.1 megawatts of fusion power. This was 65% of input power. And like I said, more power is put into it than the power she gained. So, of course, like I said, this is at the experimental stage, so we are making improvements. So the reaction that took place by GET lasted 0.5 seconds and generated 10 megawatts of fusion power. It was announced in June 2005 about the construction of the experimental reactor ITER, or ITER, announced it is designed to produce several times more fusion power than the power put into the plasma, which will over a course of a few minutes. So ITER is basically the next generation of fusion reactor experiments. Also, currently they are preparing the site, which will be taking place in Europe, I believe. Also, the production of net electrical power from fusion is planned for DEMO, which is the next generation experiment planned after ITER. Additionally, the high power laser energy research facility is undergoing preliminary design for possible construction in the European Union starting 2010. So clearly we are making some improvements on fusion power, and we are doing research in this field. So I believe it's just a matter of time until we are able to create a usable fusion reactor that can be implemented in the current infrastructure. So I can go into more depth about fusion. However, for this series, it's just important to note that fusion will be a good energy source for a Gundam. Lastly, another good energy source could be new particles found from collisions at the Large Hadron Collider. The LHC is a gigantic particle accelerator, like I said earlier. This one is situated in Geneva. The purpose for the large accelerator is to look for simpler particles below the subatomic level. Particles such as Higgs boson, as theorized by the Standard Model theory, may be proven to exist. Furthermore, these new particles may be used as an energy source. This speculation is based on chance, and if a new energy source is found, then it could be implemented on a Gundam. If it is strong enough, like fusion or antimatter. Like in Gundam 00, the Gundams use GN particles, and the same concept can be applied here. If a new particle is found and has strong energy source, then it could be used on a Gundam. So I'll go through three possibilities again, which was antimatter, fusion, and the particle accelerator in the search for new particles. So this is part 2, which is addressing the solutions to energy, and in the next part I'll be addressing solutions for computing, like I mentioned in part 1, which is one of the issues that Gundam scientists and engineers will face when building a Gundam. So thanks for watching.